I brought it up to the wife, and she didn't even respond. She just gave me this ugly look that I knew meant I was treading dangerous waters, and I politely backed out of that idea and let that dream go. So what's going on, guys? Dalton with a D, finally back with a brand new video, and I'm extremely pleased to once again say that it's a beautiful Central Texas day, and as usual I'm out for a ride on the Kawasaki Ninja 400. Now, I know I promised to start uploading on a consistent basis, and I've not done that. Clearly, it's been about 3 months since my last upload, if not a little bit longer now. And I can sit up here and give you guys all kind of reasons why I've been gone and make up excuses for my lack of uploads, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because I feel like there's a few valid reasons in there. Actually, it's really more like one valid reason, and the other two are like the icing and the cherry on top. So basically what it comes down to, I'm not gonna waste any time here, the big reason that I've not been uploading and making motovlogs in these past few months is that I was suffering from a severe case of what I can only describe as a motovlogger's version of writer's block. Now, basically what that means is, every time I would go out to make a video, I would cut the camera on and just lose all ability to speak. Now, not the actual physical ability, obviously I could get words to come out of my mouth, but I could not get the words to come out correctly. I could not translate my thoughts to words for some reason. And you sprinkle in you take my writer's block, as I call it, and you throw in a big old cup of ADHD, and you sprinkle a little bit of OCD on top of it, and you end up with the recipe for a guy that can't make a motovlog. And that's exactly what was going on. Because a perfect example of what would be happening is, I would be making a video and I would be talking, and then there would be a little synapse that fires in the back of my brain that says, oh, you shouldn't have said it like this, you should have phrased it like this, or you should have said this instead. And when that would happen, I would just get stopped dead in my tracks. And when I got stopped, it's not like I could just pick back up in mid-sentence and go, oh, excuse me, guys, I had to call, you know, try to make up some excuse. I just had to restart what I was saying, which led to the very scripted feel of my videos, which I had talked about, which I didn't like. And that was what was contributing to my scripted videos, because I would have to restart the whole thing over that I was saying from a point that made sense to cut in the video. And like I said, you throw in the ADHD, like, you know, I'd be riding along, and a big one, every time I ride this road, I always notice right here is when my buddy Brad laid his ZX6R over, coming the opposite direction. He actually went off the road and narrowly missed a sign, jumped that driveway, and laid his bike over in a big old, after he rode through a big puddle of mud and about 2 inches of standing water. Because this is a very deceptive curve right here, man. This curve takes out a lot of people. So, but say I'm riding down the highway and I'm like, oh, you know, me and my buddy were headed to Houston one night, and this and that. Oh, hey, look, a llama, which is actually pretty common around here. You see llamas and exotic deer and all kind of shit around here. Stuff. I'm trying to stop cussing so much. Not only for YouTube, for my kid. Yeah, I got young kids, man. I cuss too much. But so that's basically what was happening. I'm one way or another, I would get distracted and get thrown off, and I would either be thrown off by my little bit of OCD kicking in back here, or my very severe ADHD. And once I'm thrown off, especially if it's the ADHD, like if I realize, oh, I didn't like how I said that, I should have said it like this, I can jump back into it, but I have to restart what I was doing. Like if I'm talking and I get distracted over here by something on the road I see, or a random thought pops in my head and I start chasing that rabbit hole, once I go from here to here, that's it. There's no getting back on course right here. Actually, that's not true. I can get back on course, but let's say I'm going right here and I'm telling a story, and all of a sudden I take a little detour over here. I can get back to what I was talking about, but I'm gonna have to take like 5 or 6 other detours over here that eventually will take me back to the topic I'm talking about. Now, the problem with that is, when you're doing it in a short time frame, making these YouTube videos, then it makes no sense. It takes up an entire video, and I don't know how entertaining it is to just watch some spastic ADHD mess, you know. And that's why I've been trying to not do that on camera. And I don't know, maybe I just need to let the ADHD spaz flag fly, because that's the real me, and that's really who I am as a person. And I'm not trying to say that to make it as if I'm trying to sell you guys some kind of fake persona or put on a performance or something. I mean, this is me, the real me on camera, but I think about the entertainment value. And let's say I try to make a video with a topic. Let's say just like the Ninja 400 review. Well, if I don't check my ADHD and my OCD, then what happens is I'll make a 2-minute video talking about the bike, and the rest of the 13 minutes will be talking about random things popping in my head and things on the road that I see that make me go, oh hey, which leads me down another rabbit hole. So the past few months have been extremely frustrating for me, especially given the fact that this is something I like to do to help me relieve stress. And once the things that you do to relieve stress start to add to your stress level, you need to take a step back from them. And that's something I struggle with on a daily basis. Anything that I do for fun that becomes stressful and is no longer fun and I need to take a break from, I really have to fight to take a break. It's hard. You know, I tried for like a few days to not make a video, tried for like a week, and that's about all I could do. But instead what I ended up doing is going, well, maybe I just had a bad day yesterday, I'll go out and try to make another one tomorrow. And then you come back double upset, and then by the time the third or fourth day happens, your brain's ready to explode, you know. And that's just from this. That's not to mention outside stresses from other things going on in life, you know, people at your job, anything else that can stress you out, which, believe me, I know there's a lot of things that can. So, and that I have 4 kids. The fuck was that on the road? I gotta go back and take a peek. I thought it was a snake, but that was awful straight to be a snake. I gotta watch for hogs and deer out here. I was riding this road once September hit, man, I hadn't seen deer all year long. Then July I start seeing deer, and where was that thing? This is a very wildlife happy road. There's a whole lot of animals out here. Anybody see a snake on my camera here? Well, damn, I guess that maybe it was a snake. I don't know. I have to go back and look on the footage and see if I can tell what it was, but so there you go. There's a perfect example right here. I have no idea what I was just talking about before I turned around to get that look and see about that possible snake, right? That is, it's extremely frustrating for me, right? And not to mention the fact that me talking on camera, that being a problem, because anybody who's known me for longer than 2 minutes can tell you that talking is something I've never had a problem with, right? Like, I've never met a stranger in my life, and normally you can't get me to shut up. Matter of fact, I usually talk too much, or I used to. The older I get, the less I like a bunch of people, and I don't really mess with a lot of people or talk to people. I don't know, that's just me maturing and realizing that maybe I'm turning into a grumpy old man at a young age. But yeah, I was a social butterfly forever, man. Like at one point, honestly, you could have probably spray painted a sign or spray painted a face on that sign right there, and I probably could have had a conversation with it for like 20-30 minutes, no problem. Seriously, it's that bad. So with that in mind, you might be able to understand why these past few months were so stressful for me. But the universe has a way of working things out and helping you find that balance if you're patient enough. And I finally found mine, even though it was stressing me out even more initially. And for those of you who don't know, my wife is originally from the state of Oregon, and all of her family are still up in Oregon besides my mother-in-law. And so we took a vacation up there. We were gone for 8 days, and I was stressed out because I wanted to get a motovlog uploaded before we left. I kept trying to make one, and I knew once I left for Oregon I was going to be a whole week and a half before I could actually try to make another one. And I thought, this is it, I got a deadline right here, I'll get this one done and I'll come back in full swing, right? Well, the added pressure of leaving for vacation made it that much more difficult, and needless to say, I didn't get a video done. So we get to Oregon and everything's going great, I'm enjoying the time away, but I still got motorcycles on the brain. So I was actually looking at renting a motorcycle in Oregon, but there was 2 issues with that. One, I gotta slow down, man, this is prime deer country out here. I came out the other day and there was a doe just standing in the middle of the road for no reason. But the 2 issues preventing me from renting a bike was, one, every place renting bikes were renting either a Harley or an adventure bike. Now, I'm not a big Harley Davidson fan. I don't have anything against people that ride Harleys. I mean, generally, as long as you're cool to me, I'm cool to you. Ride what you like. I just don't like the bikes. I think they're overpriced for what they are. I'm not saying they're bad bikes. I just don't think they're worth near as much as the price tag. So I wasn't really looking for getting down with the HD experience. And that only left me with the option of an adventure bike. Now, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret right now. I'm not the most vertically gifted person out there. I'm about 5'7", maybe 5'8" if I stretch really well that morning. So the idea of hopping on one of these gigantic adventure bikes on and off the giant seat all day in Oregon traffic, and I know you don't talk about Oregon, you never hear anybody talk about Oregon traffic, right? I'm telling you, it's highly underrated. I don't think it's necessarily just that much traffic. I think the road systems are just so poorly designed in that state that they just exude congestion everywhere. I'm talking like, I was in like 5 o'clock traffic if you were in Austin. I was in that kind of traffic in Oregon, and we were like 20 miles outside the city limits of Portland. It was that bad. So then the other issue, and really the big issue for me getting a bike, was I brought it up to the wife and she didn't even respond. She just gave me this ugly look that I knew meant I was treading dangerous waters, and I politely backed out of that idea and let that dream go. So, but I do want to ride, man. Actually, I wanted to ride my bike up to Oregon. That was really pushing it, and I knew that wasn't happening because I was going to leave my wife with the 4 kids, including a newborn, by herself. But I've got friends in Arizona, New York, Arizona, and that's a long way around, ain't it? Arizona to New York to California. Whoo! Arizona, New Mexico, California. I've got friends all around through there that I could probably crash at. If not, get a little room and put the bike inside if I have to. But I wanted to go through Oregon, through California, and ride PCH up in Oregon. It's a beautiful ride. If anybody rides motorcycles in that area, you probably know yourself. So, unfortunately, that wasn't happening. And I will say though, man, Oregon had some beautiful roads, beautiful places to ride. The only problem with Oregon is, you mess around and go off the road here in Texas, you got a chance of being all right. You go off the road in Oregon, if you have to dip off the shoulder, you're in some serious trouble in Oregon, because you're either going to go off a cliff or hit a tree. Now, I know we got trees here in Texas, and depending on what part of Texas you're in especially, it might be a little different, but you know, we got all this bar ditch over here, and there's trees here and there, but you know, you mess around in Oregon and go off the road, they got trees. I'm talking a whole forest, 2 inches from the road. So you go off the road, oh God, that's embarrassing. You mess around and have to go off the road in Oregon, you're in a world, so you better really make a quick decision how badly you need to get off the road, or you might just want to take your chances up here, right? So, but I'd love to go back up there and ride one day. Like I said, there were some gorgeous places up there, and I like to go, not just make moto vlogs, just go to ride and experiences it. Experiences? What? Go experience it. But, you know, it rains like 260 days a year up there, so, you know, it's also different rain up there, though, too. Like, Texas, we call an Oregon storm a Texas shower, because it pours up there, what they call pours. They're like, oh my God, it's raining so hard, you know. I mean, shit, we're out there playing golf in that, you know. I don't play golf. I would. My grandfather was big into golf, built golf courses for a living, and actually works with Jack Nicklaus, is a good friend of his. So with all that in mind, you can see why I said this wasn't as much of a problem as just the icing on the cake, because even though the Oregon trip was a lot of fun and it really did me a lot of good, it also took me away from my bike for an extended period of time. And although I do feel like it was the solution, I think that's exactly what I needed to get back to normal, and I finally feel like myself, because I didn't even want to ride my bike hardly anymore, because every time I got on the bike I felt pressured to make a moto vlog. Now when I was making them on a consistent basis, I didn't feel that need. I could get on the bike and ride and listen to music and just enjoy myself, but you know, not getting these videos out consistently, I felt like I had to try all the time, and that was just killing me. So 8 days later, we come pulling up in the driveway right about 2 o'clock in the morning, and we go inside and we go to sleep, because it's 2 o'clock in the morning and we've been traveling all day with 4 kids, mind you. But the very first thing I did the next morning was wake up, throw on my gear, fire up the bike, and head out to make a video. And I felt like a whole new person. Honestly, man, I was enjoying it. I felt like my old self. So with my newfound sense of inner peace, I went out and recorded about 2 or 3 videos worth of footage, came home, spent some time with the wife and kids, and went to sleep, because I had to get up and go to work for the next 3 days. I didn't look at any of the footage, I didn't listen to any of the footage, and that was going to come back to haunt me, because when I finally got home a couple days later and decided to plug my GoPro into my laptop, the laptop wouldn't recognize the GoPro. So at first I thought it was the cable, because I wasn't using the official GoPro cable at the time there, so I dug it out, plugged it in, and still nothing. So on a whim, I plugged my PS4 controller in, and it instantly starts charging with that same cable, and my heart sank because I knew it was the USB port, the actual USB connector of my GoPro that was messed up. But I wasn't sure when it messed up, and the fact that this uses a USB microphone, I figured all my audio was lost, and sure enough, the very first video clip I pulled up sounded fine for about 5 seconds, and then you could hear where the connection was lost, and it would come in and out, and you'd hear me talking, and it'd be like, so I was coming out, and then I just, And so I lost about 2 or 3 videos worth of footage, and I was kind of devastated all over again. Alright guys, we're going to end today's video here, and we're going to pick up on this story on the next video, because I get off work at 6 o'clock. I don't know if you can see what time it is here, but it's 7:46, and my wife's probably wondering where the hell I am. Now granted, I left work about an hour later than normal, so she knows I was going to be late, but not this late, and I'm probably going to get a tongue lashing already when I get home for this, so... But I will upload this next video, I promise. This is going to be just the kickstart to get me going again, and I will pick up on the story again of the tale of me getting back into motovlogging, so to speak. We'll call it my the tale of my triumphant return. We'll see how triumphant it's going to be, but... Alright y'all, thanks for watching today's video. Leave a like and comment down below and let me know what you guys think. And if you're new, don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And if you've been around for a while and aren't new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button anyway. And we'll be back on the next video with the continuation of the tale of my triumphant return to motovlogging. As usual, I'm Dalton with a D, and we'll see you next time.